Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. It seems to never end. Every single time it seems like the Nijisanji related drama is starting to die down. Either their management or their livers decides to stoke the flames and once again cause more issues. This time we're going to see 3 EN livers make some questionable statements when replying to users criticizing them on Twitter. Now, we've seen a common tactic with Nijisanji EN in the past where they drop these sort of group tweets where they all send out a tweet at the same time with a similar message. In the past, we saw this classic example where they all said, "We love Nijisanji, our family, blah, 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 blah." Well, we've seen a new edition of that yesterday where a bunch of the livers tweeted out that they love artists and made related tweets based on that. Now, everything was going good until it didn't, where 3 of their livers would decide to clap back at the haters in the replies. Now, the severity of these replies definitely vary. One is a more typical clapback. The next is starting to get a little defensive about recent criticism of their organization. And the latter is an example of one of their livers discriminating against a group of people based on the color of their skin and their sexual preference. Yeah, not good stuff. But we're going to start with this one from Wilson. So he makes this tweet saying, "Also, never let anyone bully you into stopping drawing what you are passionate about. Fan art is the cutest stuff ever." Where a user replies saying, "Good thing no one gets bullied in Nijisanji EN," of course making a reference to the recent Dokibird situation, where Wilson would reply with this: "Did you form that opinion from your favorite drama tuber? You doing this is harassment. Leave my community alone and spend time doing things you love instead of spreading trash." Now, this is an outrageous reply for 2 reasons. Number 1, it is a very bold call out. The target of this drama tuber classification here is very wide. Normally, when it comes to VTuber related news and drama, you think of me and maybe another handful of people as kind of the faces of that, the people that are larger channels covering it. But in this situation with Nijisanji and their recent drama, it's been picked up by a lot of channels outside of the usual suspects, including people like Charlie covering the situation, or other people like Pyrocynical or Mudahar. This has gone very, very mainstream because the actions of Nijisanji management and some of their EN livers are outrageous, and people are calling that out across the board on YouTube. So to label drama tubers in this context is a very big net to cast. Now, going back to the statement, we see the second part about this idea of a bully. So this user is referring to a bully in Nijisanji EN, and basically Wilson is saying that you got that opinion from your favorite drama tuber. My brother in Christ, people got that idea from your own management. It wasn't drama tubers or YouTubers propagating this idea out of thin air. They're basing that accusation of a bully being, or bullies being in your company, based on the termination announcement from AnyColor, where they acknowledge a bully or bullies in the company. They threw you under the bus. There was an angry mob heading your way, and they pointed them in your direction by naming you in this termination announcement. This is the group that gave out this information about the bully. It's not just the people covering this whole situation. It is Nijisanji themselves that made this idea public. Now, moving forward, we all know that this action by Nijisanji has greatly affected a lot of the livers. It's caused extensive damage. At this point in the last 30 days, Nijisanji EN livers have lost hundreds of thousands of subscribers collectively. In fact, the 20th was the first day where the entire group didn't lose subscribers. It was the first day, and then these livers come out and say this stuff. But what Wilson said is nowhere near what Yuki said. So Yuki, Violet, as you can see, very popular EN liver from Nijisanji. They would go on to say some very disparaging things about groups of people based on the color of their skin and their sexual preference. Definitely not helping this whole situation. So here is the thread of responses. Yuki, once again, making a positive artist tweet where this user would reply saying, "What do you think about straight white men? Remind us of your opinion about straight white men, please, Mr. Positivity and Love Spreader." So this comment will actually have a history, as we'll see. It's not just out of thin air, but it's more of a troll reply. I don't know why you would reply to this in the first place. It's not a good idea. And it was certainly not a good idea to reply with this. Yuki saying they're just as irresponsible and selfish as your response. So they are essentially calling an entire group of people irresponsible and selfish. Obviously not a very smart thing to do in a position like this. Now, a lot of people on Twitter know that attacking white people or straight people is safe edgy. You can do that on Twitter and places like that with no blowback, okay? But at the same rate, you have Nijisanji defenders and alike saying that what Yuki replied with is in no way racist because you can't be racist to white people based on this definition of racism, or they're trying to say that white people are trying really hard to be oppressed. Now, I don't think you have to go really that deep. You just need to ask a very simple question in this context. Do you think it's okay to belittle and treat people differently based on the color of their skin or their sexual preference? If you think it is okay in some circumstances to do that, you're a problem. Tweets like this are a problem. And I don't know why anyone would put up with this. It's not necessary, it's toxic, and it alienates a large portion of your audience for absolutely no reason. You didn't have to reply to this, besides the fact it just looks horribly unprofessional as a professional Nijisanji EN liver. But moving forward, that was kind of just my response, right? I didn't really want to go too deep in this. I thought it was really only worthy of a tweet going over this. Not much else to say until I saw this tweet from Kirsha saying, fun supercut of every time Yuki Violetta was weird about white people. Now, this is a 5.5 minute long compilation of Yuki saying disparaging things about white people. You gotta be some kind of a weirdo to have a 5+ minute long compilation of you attacking a group of people based on the color of their skin. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and play the entire 5.5 minute clip, but I'm gonna give you a quick compilation of some of his greatest hits involving the subject.
I mean, no one does. I guess.
Person from each team join me over
White
here.
people.
Naruhodo.
He's sweet. Yeah, he is. Haha. Surprise, white man does the bare minimum. You know how when like white people kiss?
I don't. What do you fucking mean? What?
Like in the movies and stuff, when white people kiss, it's like they look like they're in pain. You know what? White people's hot dog sucks in more way than one.
Literally $0.
Fucking.
Ooh.
Oh.
It's because the hosts are two white
Okay.
people. It kind of looks bad. It kind of looks like it would match you if you were a pasty white person. So I'm gonna click out of that. You're just walking around and then this old white couple passes by you and they're like, hello, whatever. And I'm like, hello? Can I help you? We don't know each other. Why did you say hello? Why are you smiling at me? Why are you talking to me? What business do you have with me?
So that's only a small portion of his comments about white people. If you want the full compilation, I'll put a link to the thread in the description. But regardless of your feelings about this situation, can we agree on something very basic? What he is saying is weird. It is weird to have such a focus on a group of people that your hatred of them starts to leak out into your professional career to the point where there is a compilation of you speaking negatively about that group of people. It is a very weird thing. Now, places like Twitter will applaud this because, like I said, being anti-white or anti-straight is something that is applauded on spaces like this. But if you show compilations like this to a normal person, they will think you're very weird. they will think this treatment of other people based on the color of their skin is something to not be celebrated, regardless of who it's directed at or what group it's directed at. And a lot of people have been raising other comparisons where they're comparing this situation to other things that have happened in the history of Nijisanji, like a situation that involved now graduated VTuber Kyo. So only a few months ago, Kyo was under immense fire from people on social media for comments he made about Koreans, where he basically compared the topic of plastic surgery and affixed that to Korean people. Now, he was dragged, okay? Initially, he was not going to apologize for anything and really doubled down, but people got really mad and called him a racist and demanded that Nijisanji must do something. Now, we saw eventually Kyo would apologize for these comments and would take some time off to reflect on his actions. Basically, a subtle suspension, and it's something that we know that Nijisanji has done with other livers, a stealth suspension where they don't officially announce it, but it's clear because of the break that that was likely what was going on. But people compare his comments to that of Yuki, and they're very confused as to why Yuki has never been punished or really even criticized for any of these comments about white people. And the hypocrisy, of course, is glaring in this situation. But moving forward, a lot of people compared some of the comments made by Yuki to that of Victoria, who also clapped back at a now deleted post saying, "Explain to me how supporting fan artists makes me a corporate bootlicker without using random buzzwords you learned this week." Now, this reply is aggressive and probably not the best idea given the current situation Nijisanji is in, but I don't think this is in any way comparable to what Yuki said. This comment is directed towards a negative reply to her tweet that has to do with the substance of what that person was saying. Yuki's tweets and the compilation of their comments on stream has to do with the traits of a human being, the color of their skin. That's a lot more serious than something like this that normally people would just applaud as a funny clapback by a VTuber, especially one from Nijisanji. But as you can tell, this situation has continued to get worse, and really the PR nightmare for Nijisanji continues, and it's really been carried on at this point by the livers, because management hasn't done much openly, at least, over the past week or so, but the livers, through their joint address made on Alira's channel and through these recent replies, has stoked the flames and made the drama continue. But for now, that's the update on the Nijisanji related situation, and as always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.